Deadlock. No. Wait. Deadlock. Nope. Still not it. Hold on. Give me a second. Ah, here it is. Deadlock. Deadlock has me on a headlock. This game is actually gas though. I have been addicted to this game as soon as my friend invited me to the beta. Whenever I think of a MOBA shooter, this is what comes to mind. I've always wanted a MOBA hero shooter, and Predecessor was close to what I wanted, but Deadlock tickles my balls the way nothing ever would. Valve knew what they were cooking. I know they had to fire some employees who weren't on the same page as everyone else.
I'm gonna talk to Microsoft.
Fuck off my Xbox chef now!
Look at the patch notes they release almost every Thursday. That hoe is a light novel filled with changes, like adding wall bounces or ropes to the map to make it easier for players to get to the rooftop. You can tell they dedicate so much time to the patches. I'll talk about the patches later, but right now I have a complaint against all the hate it got at the beginning of the invite beta. When Deadlock started spreading like a plague, and as more players got their hands on the beta testing, there was so much hate coming from everyone, especially the hero shooter community. I want to say the hate came from Overwatch players, since the majority of them thought it would be solely a hero shooter, but thank God it wasn't. Most of the complaints were that they couldn't roam around the map freely and the laning phase. Overwatch players, as usual, acting like there aren't any objectives in the game. This is one of the things I want to say about Deadlock. Deadlock is more of a MOBA than a hero shooter, and you can't convince me otherwise. It's pretty obvious that it's a MOBA, but a dumbed down version of it. There aren't heavy objectives like League or Dota, or roles that you pre-select before starting the match. I'm guessing later in the game, players will somehow find a way to make roles, but as of now, everyone is technically an offlaner. Now, I will agree that Deadlock is a really bad game for players who just started their first match, or the way it's set up doesn't really help the new players. There is a lot going on within the first minutes of the match. You have the health bar, the souls jar, the slots for the items, and we can't forget about the flex slots too. And the stats to the left side, the abilities. I think you get the point. Even if you played MOBAs before, Deadlock takes a few games to fully understand what is happening. And don't get me started on the quote-unquote tutorial they have when you boot up the game. The tips you get through reading it are nice, but you don't get to experience how the mechanics actually work within the match. Also, the fact that the devs keep changing stuff every Thursday doesn't help either. I remember the first time playing a match, I was doing the recommended default build the game had new players do, and it actually gave me AIDS by how bad it was. Then I saw this little button that helped me find a build that made me become the carrying god. I love how Valve knew that there would be players that labbed with different builds they can create with each character, and made it possible to share with other people, because we know how everyone is too lazy to go to the sandbox and experiment with different items. After looking at the items and builds people were creating, I got the general understanding that it's heavily inspired by Dota. Similar to Dota, the items you get really depend on the character and items the enemy team has. If there's an enemy team that curses and silences you, then the item that can stop that would be unstoppable, just like BKB. There's also creep deny, making it more like Dota. I know the first time opening the item shop flashbanged me, confusing the hell out of me with these 3 different item traits. No way I would learn all these items mid-game. I think the way they structured items into 3 categories was really genius. Out of all the confusing things this game made, they honestly cooked with the item separations. My dumbass looks at the colors and instantly knows green is for health, purple is for ability damage, and orange is for attack damage. Not like the bland item selection like League. Ugh. Another amazing thing about these items is that you can build whatever you want. You want to be a Beyblade? Then you can. You want to be Cancer and only go melee damage build? Then you can. But honestly, I hate you for all my life. I hate this build with a passion. You want an ult that reaches Africa and does insane amounts of damage, or attack damage that stacks with each hit? It's possible to do almost about anything in this game. Deadlock even has a magic carpet for some reason. it's just there. When it comes to character design, Valve knows how it's done, unlike some games. Look at 7. My boy came out the electric psych ward with a Tesla rice hat. 7 used to be the most broken character in this game until the devs realized that he was a little too OP. I mean, he still does a lot of damage, but you could tell the difference when the change happened. Then we got the best design they could ever come up with, hands down, Mo and Krill. Look at the newsboy hat this little piggy is wearing. You can't tell me this isn't gas. It's a piggy with a newsboy's hat. Ignore the monkey on top of him, or at least I think it's a monkey. I don't see enough love for Mo and Krill. Of course people would be more interested in Furnace or Bebop. This Beyblade cannot be stopped. As soon as I see someone in my line of sight, you know damn well I'm going to do the most diabolical drive-by you've ever seen. For all the people that like goth mommies, Deadlock got that too. We also get these for free. Vindicta is for real trash though. I haven't seen a good Vindicta player ever. I had a game where she was fed too, but she fell off mid-game. There's more characters that have really nice designs to them, but these were my favorites. You know what? Talking about the Vindicta winning lane and falling off mid-game really pisses me off about players. I see this in every single match I play. The majority of people who win lane do absolutely nothing later near the end of the match since they don't farm souls. I cannot emphasize how important farming souls are in this game. You could be losing lane, and if you're farming the jungle whenever the laning phase is over, or a simple gank to other lanes, the souls start to stack up. One item can literally help shift team fights around. I just don't get it. People's brains completely shut off for the only reason of winning their lane. They stop farming and start initiating team fights, hoping they win every fight. By the time the game is about to end, I will have so many souls collected, making me impossible to kill. I get that it's probably people's first MOBA, but damn, I didn't think they would play like bots. Moral of the story, please farm souls even if you're losing your lane or the game. You would be surprised by how much of a difference it actually makes. One thing I really appreciate about Deadlock is the queue system and how the game tries to put you in a game based on the heroes you prioritize. It tries its best to cycle through all the matches just to please your ass, and you're probably gonna go 0-10, let's be honest. Anyways, I think this stops the amounts of instant locks I see with other MOBAs or any character selection screen. If I don't get my boy Mo and Krill, the next hero I prioritize has like a 90% chance of getting them. I've experienced where I didn't get the heroes I chose only once through my Deadlock grind. The bad thing about this is that whenever a player doesn't get any of the heroes they've chosen, they decide to feed the enemy team and then leave in the first 10 minutes. At least leave the game as soon as it starts. I don't get why you would stay and play it out if you're going to leave anyways. Last thing I want to quickly talk about is the patch notes. The developers really care about the game and it shows. They've added a ton of changes to try and keep the heroes balanced while still making them relevant and not end up killing them. New techs like wall jumping, ropes, and more juke rooms. I used to pray for times like these. The juke rooms, that's what we need more of. Also, there's teleporters that not a lot of people use for some reason. These can be really helpful if you want to quickly gank the lane on the opposite side of the map. Overall, Deadlock is something that refreshed the gaming scene. There hasn't been a game like this in a long time, and I'm glad I'm addicted to it. It's honestly like crack. I see Deadlock becoming a game where other companies try and replicate it too. I will go as far as to say that Deadlock will create a new subgenre of these types of games, where it's a combination of MOBAs and hero shooters. If we talk about the esports scene, I feel like this game can really be hard to understand what is happening at certain points, making it difficult for spectators to watch and have a negative experience with it. I say that, but we have this pile of garbage as one of the most watched esports games. But yeah, yeah, I mean, Deadlock is an amazing game that really gave me back from what I enjoyed from gaming. I haven't felt like this in a long time, ever since Little Big Planet. I'm probably glazing the game too much, but all I have to say is that I don't have to play Overwatch anymore. Please follow my Twitter. I can't take it anymore. I have to get out of the hood, please. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you want more of these half-ass videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. See ya.